Hey Darren, it's Sean.
Hi, Sean.
Hi, it's like 4,000 degrees here in Wyoming and it was snowing yesterday. I'm wearing a hoodie, I'm taking it off, but I'm listening. Um,
Okay.
I called Kilmer Lane and Newman again. I tried to leave a message. I don't know if you can talk to them for me and let them know a little bit about what's going on. Um, a lot of people were scared, Darren, and they hurt me for it.
Yeah.
Um, I've been trying to work through a constant panic attack. I should have had assistance because of my disabilities a lot of years ago. I mean, I spent a lot of time helping the homeless, you know. We met
Mm-hmm.
at Occupy Boulder. I remember meeting you. I'm I'm
That's true.
I'm really scared, Darren. The cops came and talked to me this morning and they played stupid, but they also called me by my last name and I didn't give them my last name.
Yeah.
Um,
Do you? I assume that that you may have because just from previous conversations that you may have warrants out for your arrest at
I do.
some places.
I do.
Gotcha.
I don't
Yeah,
mind,
that makes it scary.
sir. I was trying before those warrants because I couldn't get the help that I needed. I literally had to break the law. Those warrants are because of court dates that I was prevented from going to, and because my public pretenders wouldn't do their jobs, and because of situations with each individual court. I literally, sir, all of those court dates are the result of trying to speak out against police and trying to get evidence against the police who refused to do their jobs before Natalie died and also at my grandma's funeral. And I don't mind sitting my time for the crimes that I committed, but I need to have an honest day in court and I need to be able to face my accusers, sir. I'm writing
Mm-hmm.
down all the stuff that they did to prevent me from having an honest court date. I mean, most of my public pretenders were friends with each other, so they did a lot of really messed up stuff.
Well, yeah, it's not unusual for public defenders and the prosecutors to know each other and to negotiate with one another.
Well,
I
it's
can
also the
understand
fact that
that.
they knew my public pretenders from other counties. My public pretenders did. And I threatened to sue my other public pretenders in those other counties because they wouldn't do their jobs and they were very threatening and antagonistic towards me and pulled a lot of shady stuff. And I have the names of witnesses. The problem is, like I said before Natalie died, I need a safe environment to function. They did everything.
Well, yeah, Sean, the my situation in for my perception in talking with you, and we talked, I don't know, 3 weeks ago or something, at which time I shared with you that, I'm not an attorney and I really can't do anything for you um, legally until that changes. And your situation spanning counties and states is much more complicated
I
than
know.
um, someone who comes with an issue, a specific legal issue in one occurrence that can, you can sit down and have a conversation and learn about it in one or two settings and looking at documents surrounding the arrest or citation or whatnot. Your situation is, I hope you understand, much more complicated than that. And
Yes, sir.
I
I've
know
never
you
even
want,
heard of anyone going through something this bad. I mean, it's like one flew over the cuckoo's nest, except it's. I was a good man, Darren. Why did I deserve this? I'm sorry, go ahead. I shouldn't have interrupted you. It was rude.
no, no, that's all right. Um, Hang on, I'm going to put some headphones on so I can talk easier. One moment.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thanks, Sean. I mean, I can't answer what. No one can answer for you why did this happen. I certainly know that at the time when Natalie died, we had just gotten a restraining order for you. So a lot of people looked at that probably and believed that she was afraid of you, and without any other information, decided that you were probably the bad guy. There was a young woman dead who had gotten a restraining order against you, and that's what they saw. And you present Sean as you do, with frustration and cursing and whatever. And I'm not judging you for that, but I'm being very honest about how you present to the world.
I know how people see it, sir. It's 'cause I have severe panic attacks. I'm scared shitless, sir. I was scared shitless before she died. I wanted them to kill me or leave me alone, and they wouldn't do it. I have evidence of this. They went out of their way at every point to prevent me from being able to speak on my own behalf. I should have had an advocate to help me. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you again. I'm scared, Darren.
Well, you probably have good reason to be scared if you fear having the police arrest you because you have warrants out for your arrest.
It's not just that, it's that they'll take me back to the jails where the guards abused me. 2 of those guards, the ones that killed Demetrius Shankling, took part in the harassment and assaults against me in Boulder County in August.
Well, those 2 are no longer working there.
I know, but that's the thing, is that it wasn't just those 2 officers, sir. One of those assaults included 7 officers. They strapped me to a chair. They were applying pressure points to me. I slipped out of their chair, though.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. Go ahead.
If you end up in Boulder County Jail and you don't have anyone else to call, you are welcome. If they give you one phone call, you're welcome to call me.
They denied me that phone call last time. They denied me that phone call last time. They told me that it was a fantasy, a rumor. I'm trying to think of the word that they used.
A myth?
Yeah. Is that true?
I'm not positive, but I thought that was a fundamental tenet of law, that you get one phone call. And when I've been involved in protests and stuff, we write down a number for a legal helpline because everyone expects to get their one call. So I think they probably lied to you.
Yeah, that's going down in my report. The problem is, that's the thing, is that I needed help so that I didn't end up this severe. Sir, I'm this way because of PTSD from the abuse I've endured. And the more I beg for help, the more it... I went to therapy. I got multiple witnesses. I have over 100 witnesses written down. The police refused to take reports from anyone.
I have no doubt, Sean, that the police didn't treat with dignity or fairness. I have no doubt of that. How we prove it, I don't know. And
I have the proof. I just need to be able to get it to someone before they lock me up and take it away again. When I was in Arapahoe County, Officer Brian Valenzuela stole that evidence from Longmont that I was trying to show to the Secret Service The Secret Service wasn't interested in anything except getting me to sign a piece of paper to get my mental health records, and they only obtained that by pretending they were going to help me. And I was supposed to be there. There's a woman, Miss Peaches, I sent you her information, I think. Um, I saved over 70 conversations with witnesses who talked about the things that the Boulder police did, and not just them, but other police officers, because these people were trying to make a report too, and they got excuse after excuse why they couldn't. So that evidence is all there. It's all easily obtainable. It's just I don't have it all organized. I've been trying to just get it all collected through the harassment and the threats and the constant moving. And that's the thing, is that for somebody who's autistic, you know how stressful moving is, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's even more stressful for me, and I've moved over 30 times in the last year.
Got you. Well, Sean, my situation is, this summer I have to take on less instead of even the same or more than I've been doing, because I'm studying for the bar, and if I don't pass that, I just have to study and do it all over again, so it'll all be wasted time. And your situation is too complicated for me to take on. I know you get frustrated that I'm helping some other people, but their situations are relatively simple.
Yes, sir, I understand that. That's why I am so glad that you exist, because that officer who assaulted me in January, he's the one that assaulted Sammy Leon Lawrence, and I am so thankful that you're fighting for those young men. And my frustration is at the fact that it's a homeless issue, and so many people are turning a blind eye to that, because Sammy didn't get the same treatment that Zaid did. I am so thankful that you're helping them. I really am. Because I know you worked with David Lane last year, if you could put in a word with them and tell them that I have such a complicated situation, I could try to
What they need,
do
what
what?
they need, what David Lane and just about any attorney needs, is a clear narrative of what happened to you and where you think the legal system went wrong on your behalf. And
I'm
that's the
typing that
problem.
out.
As you say, you struggle to organize the evidence and such that you have.
Yes, sir.
And
Well, I'm writing the story
what I,
out. Go ahead.
what I believe, Sean, is that just about no one is going to take your case when there's not a clear narrative of what happened.
I'm
You're
writing it
basically
down,
asking,
sir, and I'm
you're,
writing down
you're
where the
asking,
go ahead.
you're asking people to basically take a whole ton of information that you've collected without you having organized it, and to say to understand and believe you that something horrible happened to you, but that you can't state in a clear manner so that they understand what it is you want to bring claims of.
Well, that's the thing, is that I do have the evidence collected. I do have it. I'm writing down a clear narrative right now. I've spent a couple of months trying to write it. I'm still working on it today, step by step, every step of the way. It's pretty clear and concise, and a lot of that evidence it's there. It just needs to be requisitioned by a lawyer, and a lot of it I already collected. The harassment against me and the threats against me, I have that evidence. I just need to get a lawyer to look at it, is all. And I haven't gotten that far.
Mm-hmm.
Because of my disabilities, I've been unable to do that.
So you have a document that you've written up?
I have a document that I am currently writing up. I sent a copy to Sammy Leon Lawrence IV.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping he shares it with Zaid Atkinson, because I know they're working together now. I sent them I sent him the brief beginning of everything. It's taken me a lot of time though, because I have to step away from it. I relive that every day. you know. And
Yeah.
I read from both of them that they're going through the same. And if you can imagine them going through just one situation, and I went through a lot because they were allowed to do more to me because I didn't have Black Lives Matter, you know. And I'm not hateful at you towards you for that at all. I clear and concise in the things that I type down for Boulder Rights Watch? I
I don't
know.
know. You may be clear and concise, but you, we talked about this last time, Sean, and that addressing this in part that this is a racial issue allows a lot more scrutiny under the law against Lovatai and the police.
Yes, sir.
I and others are completely aware that this is a homeless issue as well. Completely. We are waiting for the first report on Zaid Atkinson because I had an eyewitness that was there tell me off the record information that's going to be very. I think it's going to prove, but I'm waiting until we get the actual video from the police that they were treating him as if he might be homeless, and that was their excuse to harass him. That's going to be a huge deal, but we don't have the proof right now, and so we're not raising that as the number one issue. We need to wait until it's irrefutable. So when you write about that it's a homeless issue and you rail against people not helping you, it comes off number one, you don't realize that we know as much as you do, and that's understandable because you're not here and we're not writing about it publicly, those types of things.
Actually, I've been paying attention, and I am aware that Zaid Atkinson, as well as Sammy Leon Lawrence the Fourth, are well aware of that. I've been in contact with Sammy, and I've been keeping up on current affairs in Boulder as far as the news goes. I've also been collecting evidence from a lot of the victims who had their children taken because of homelessness, and um, yes, sir, I am doing the best to collect what I can for these cases myself. I understand 100% fully why you guys are focusing on the racism issue. It's because that's what people care about. The FBI doesn't consider hate crime against the homeless a hate crime, but they consider a hate crime against a black person a hate crime.
Exactly.
They
Being
also
homeless is not considered a protected class that the law gives preferential treatment to. But many people who are homeless are disabled, and many people who are homeless are a race or ethnicity that is a protected class.
yes,
So,
sir.
and you're right, that's also where people, I don't know, their sympathies lie. And so we're working off of that to try to address the way the police treat people. And ultimately, if we can get policies in place and get bad police off of the force and make an example out of them, things will get better. I can't guarantee that, John. Nobody can. But I'll just say it doesn't help. You know, you're welcome to write whatever you want about who I help and who I don't. But it does. At some point, it just becomes something that I read without really giving much credence to because I'm doing what I can and I'm doing it in a way I think I can be effective. And you're welcome to be critical of it, and it's even helpful for me to hear your perspective. But that's as far as I'm going to go. And I would be helping you if I could, but your case is way too complicated, and I can't get any other attorney to take because again, your case is way too complicated. It needs the best thing you can do for yourself is to try and clarify for anyone going to learn what happened to you and consider getting you assistance. To have something really tell the narrative of what happened, and I know that attorneys in general are super busy. They're assessing all the time. Way more people that need help than they can give help. So if something comes across their desk that is just confusing and jumbled and looks like a ton of work just to even get to a point where they can assess whether they can help, they're just going to pass on that. And that's the cold hard reality.
Yes, sir. You're just reinforcing all the things that I was saying. You know, I'm thankful for that. See, here's the thing, Darren, is that I'm trying to raise awareness, but I also understand fully what you're doing. That's why I still support you 100% in what you're doing, and I support Zayd Atkinson 100% in what he's doing, and I support Sammy Leon Lawrence IV in everything that he's doing. You guys are seriously heroes, and that is not a joke. I mean, I am glad for the simplicity of their cases, because if it gets Lolatai off the force, that's a start.
Yeah.
I don't. I 100% agree with you, Darren. 100%. That's what I've been trying to explain all along. A lot of people who offered to help have never been homeless, so they didn't understand, and they make excuses why it's okay, and then they tell me how horrible homeless people are, and they tell me stories about the one time that a homeless person stole the tip jar off of their counter, and how they treat all homeless people like they're that guy now. But we're not allowed to treat police that way. So yes, Darren, I don't mean to sound unsupportive. When I realized what it is that you're doing, I I continued to advocate the way that I do, but I don't mean for it to come off as abrasive as it does. And when I reread some of that stuff, I go, man, you know, that is abrasive, and that's why I try to talk to people. But also now I'm so traumatized by this stuff that I can barely speak most of the time. I try not to cry in public because that gets the cops called. I got harassed by the cops this morning. I videotaped it. They were harassing me for being somewhere I'm allowed, where it's legal for me to be. So I support you, Darren. You fucking fight that battle for those young men and that young woman. I mean, you're a hero, Darren. That's no joke. I mean, you're not homeless, and you're still fighting for us. And I've noticed, you know, in the news that when I was saying that people in houses need to speak up or they won't listen, you have proven with your articles and the articles that they've written in the Colorado Daily and in those kind of things where they specifically mention your name. It's because you're not homeless, so you matter more than us. Your voice matters more than us, and you use that voice. You know, when you were talking when you were talking about how you had spent a day, took a day off for me, and also how you were afraid. I mean, that's all stuff that I understood before you ever said it. You know, I understood it.
Do you want me to explain that further? You said in your video that you wanted to do it. I'm fine with explaining that if you want me to.
I wanted you to explain it for others, but yes, I would like you to do that.
Okay. I was scared, Sean, because I was working up the knowledge that, number one, there was a dead young woman murdered, that you were a suspect, and I was believing you that you had witnesses that placed you not at the scene of the crime. I was believing you that you were talking to the police and cooperating. I made an assessment, Sean, that you were not a murderer. But I could not know that that was the case 100%.
Yes, sir, I understand.
I went and picked you up from when you got in the car. You told me where the cocaine dealer's home, where you had been unsafe, and you were very, very triggered in that. somebody was helping you based on my assessment that you, number one, you deserved help, and number two, you weren't guilty. But I could have been wrong about the guilt.
Yes,
And
sir.
your behavior, understandably being upset, did not make me feel any more comfortable. I was scared during that car ride.
Yes, sir. So was
I
I.
was scared going to pick you up. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Doesn't
Absolutely.
mean I thought you were guilty. It means I didn't know what the truth was for sure. And I was taking a chance. I might be in the car helping a murderer. I might.
Yes, sir. That's because you knew me as an activist before that. And
Yeah.
I understand how scary I am with those panic attacks. You know, it took a really long time for me to get that way. It took a lot of abuse for me to get that way. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I was assaulted at least 4 times, maybe more, before I ever started getting that way. I was so afraid, and I had already spoken to so many officers who had blown me off by the time that I started being mean about it, because I was scared. And I understand why you're scared. I'm scared of people who are scared of me, because they make decisions like that based off of their fears, and some people, it registers to them that I'm afraid too, and some people, it registers to them that I'm afraid because they're afraid. You know, I mean, I understood Natalie's family. That's why I left Virginia. That's why I did what I did. And I didn't expect all of the abuse when I got back to Boulder. I didn't. And I 100% fully support your decisions, and I 100% fully understand why you were scared. A lot of people have told me that they're scared. That's why it was
Mm-hmm.
important to get an advocate. But you're absolutely right, Darren. That's the thing, is that I'm not contesting that.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't feel bad for feeling that.
You shouldn't
And
feel bad for feeling that. If I was in that same situation, I would be scared shitless too. Matter of fact, I might not have come to pick me up. I might not have. I would have done possibly what everybody else did. You know, I mean, all right, I probably would have. You know, I stuck up for a few people that were accused of murder. I stuck up for John Fox when he was accused of murder. But yes, sir, I 100% fully understand why you did what you did. You're not the only person who is afraid. It's because I'm having a panic attack and I needed somebody to listen.
See inside.
Yes, sir.
yeah.
So, yes, sir, Mr. Darren, I understand completely. You did not do me wrong. You didn't. That's not what I was trying to say at all. And I understand people's fears, and that's the point about educating people, is that Natalie didn't understand, and that's where all of this came from. Her family didn't understand, and that's where all this came from. And a lot of her family are predators, and they are her predators, and her ex-boyfriends, a lot of them are predators. And I understand people why they were afraid. I do.
Okay. I just didn't want that to be something between us because I had written that. And I wrote it when I felt like you were behaving as if I had never done anything for you.
You
And I
absolutely
get
had.
that what I have done has been far less than what you wish for or that you deserve. But I can only do so much, and I try to be really honest with you, Sean, about what I'm willing to do.
You are.
I
You're
know how much
honest about your money situation. You're honest about your family situation. You're honest about your educational situation. You're honest about the things that you thought at the time. I mean, you literally are, sir, you're almost as honest as I am. And the parts where you're not, it's because you're holding on to it until it's the right time to say it. And I understand that.
know.
You did right, Darren. You absolutely did right by me. I mean, you took pictures of my wrist. You You did right by me. David and Betsy Prowl, I'm mad at them, but they went through the same stuff, and I so feel for them. I do. You know, I was trying to get them to work together with me, and I didn't mean to scare them off. The way that they threw me away, though, it hurt, and I understand why they did it, though. That's the thing. I understand why they wanted to distance themselves from me, and I understand with you the same thing. It is very complicated.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a rare person, Sean. I've I have worked with enough people on the street to know how traumatized you are, and I give you a lot of leeway in terms of how you communicate with me, because you know you're living in a level of desperation that I have not known, but I have seen enough time to have compassion and some understanding, regardless of lack of experience, of how hard that is. But I say that to preface that the way you talk to people who could otherwise be advocating for you, it pushes them away. And I saw some of your stuff with David and his daughter, and I was sad that it happened that way, because I don't know, I never met her, friends on Facebook, but I know David. And
Betsy is fucking badass. David and Betsy are both fucking badass. They really are. I mean, they're wonderful people. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off again.
No, that's fine. Well, I'm glad to hear that you know that, or feel that. David shows up as much as he can to public events that we have. And so, I mean, what I recall, I don't remember any specific thing that you wrote to them, Sean, but what I recall is in a similar vein of just saying they didn't help. They made promises and didn't keep them, things of that nature.
They didn't make promises. That's the thing. They never made any promises. They didn't. It's that they took something that I was typing, that they took it way out of context completely in a way that I didn't mean it, and instead of talking to me about it in a way that I'm able to effectively communicate, they went straight to my Facebook to bash me before even typing back in Messenger to me. It was a very hurtful thing to do, and I wasn't even trying to say what it is that they had thought that I was trying to communicate to them, and that's why I hate texting, because people don't read it how I mean it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And tell David I love him, will you?
I will tell him that next time I see him.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't stop loving people no matter how mad I am at them. I don't know how. I can stop hating people pretty fucking easy. It's the loving them part that fucking kills me, sir. I can't see my loved ones, and I thank you for taking your time. I want you to get back to your bar exam. I want you to get back to doing what you do. You're a hero, okay? I don't care what anybody says. You're a fucking hero, and even if I come across as abrasive, I know that no matter what I type, that's how I feel about you.
Thank you, Sean. I have believed that was true. You have communicated that. I haven't been upset with you. I've just been sad that you might feel like I don't care. I do care. I'm one person.
I know. You're doing great, Darren. You keep saving lives, okay?
Alright. You be safe up there. Don't give those police any reason to do anything stupid.
I'm homeless. That's reason enough.
I know. If you end up back in Boulder, please call. Let me be your call. Memorize my number.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna do my best. That's the first thing to go when I have a panic attack is names and numbers.
Yeah.
If I write it down a bunch, I might remember it. Ugh.
You can even on your forearm each day. Have it be right there where you need it.
Yes, sir, I will.
Okay. Then you don't have to remember. It'll be there.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Be safe, Darren.
Thanks for the call, Sean.
No, thank you.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.